However it goes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to Super Kick Weekly. Your boy, The Brand, and Big Vito T are in the house. Big Vito T, my man, what is up?
Super Kick Weekly. We're back, dude. This is gonna be fun.
We're coming
Fun,
at you
festive, Santa hat. This is
fast.
Christmas time. 10 days
Merry,
away.
Merry holidays to y'all,
Merry holidays.
all the
This is a
listeners
happy
out there
holidays hat, not a Christmas hat.
in Spotify land, podcast land, YouTube land, wherever you're joining us
Yes,
at. Hello,
for sure. Yo,
welcome.
yo.
I get some messages from the wife here right now and then, so bear with me. I don't know if you guys hear those notifications going off.
I did not, but I'm happy that we're doing this today. We're taking a small break from the invasion.
Right. Now, I was going to talk to you about that, Vito. Like, where are we at with that? We haven't really gotten to discuss, at this point, I don't know, going back, I hate to be like a towel thrower, but after that one show, like, I don't know, we need to accelerate this somehow. I don't know if I could watch all these Raws because they're pretty bad. you know, I don't know if we should subject ourselves to all. I mean, we definitely can't do the SmackDowns as well if we're going to
Yeah.
continue this.
Let's see if anyone comments if they want to see more
Yes.
invasion
If you want us
episodes.
to
Because
continue the invasion saga, we will.
yes,
Or we'll just
if
wrap
not,
it up with the pay-per-view,
it's tough.
maybe, is what I was thinking.
Yeah, we'll fast forward.
Yeah, that's
We'll
also
fast
an
forward.
idea.
Yes, you let us know.
Super Kick Weekly here, we're professional in the sense that, we hash it out here on the air with
Yes.
everyone,
Yeah, because
These
those
aren't-
are hard to watch.
This is real stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
We ain't hashing it out behind closed doors with,
No.
management teams and this and that and the other thing. This is the real deal.
Yeah.
So.
This is actually the first time we've discussed the invasion thing since the last episode. I have not watched an episode since then. I'm guessing you have not either.
I haven't, man. I've been trying to catch up on actual wrestling because I've had like TV back for the last few weeks. So it's been nice to like catch Raw, catch Dynamite at the very least, and whatever else
Yeah.
I can muster. So that's been good.
Yeah.
But as my man Vito here mentioned, we are taking a detour from that, if you will, because it is the end of the year. It is the end of the season. It is the holiday season, and everyone's coming out with these, we got the PWI 500's been out for a while, right? And, you've got all these people, all these websites with their year-end awards. So I figured, why don't we?
Yeah.
Why can't we do
sense.
that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So here we
think
are.
We could. It makes sense.
So yeah, here we are. This is the year-end award show 2023. Big Vito T, my man, what a year in wrestling that it has been.
Oh, I know.
It's
been a wild year, actually.
I want to start out the show, though. We might start out the show. We're like, 10 minutes into it here at this point. Let's see here. Oh. Let me get the right windows up. Who knows what actually came across the screen for people here.
Oh.
But no, we're only 5 minutes into it. Let me come up with this. Let's see here. So I just kind of want to get this out of the way here at the beginning of the show so we can have an uplifting moment going forward. I want to take a quick moment to acknowledge the people that we lost in 2023 because
good idea.
We lost some really freaking significant names this year, bro. I'm just going to go through this list I just popped up on, I don't even know. Looks like kellnow.com. has provided this list to us. So who freaking knows? This is just what came up.
All
Uh,
right, give them to us.
of course, Bray Wyatt at 36. Probably maybe the most tragic one of all, just due to the age and stuff, right?
Well, yeah, that
Um,
one tied with another one.
the most out of nowhere. Terry Funk at 79. Iron Sheik at 81, around the same age. We had Draws at 54. Peggy Lee Flower at 64. Superstar Billy Graham at 79. So another guy right around 80 there. Jerry Jarrett at 80 as well. Bushwhacker Butch at 78. That's the only ones that they list. Who am I missing, Vito?
Jay Briscoe.
Did that happen this year?
I'm almost positive.
I think that was last year, actually.
Really?
I'm not positive, but I want to say that was actually 2022.
I'll look that
Let
up.
me pull up a different. I'm pulling up a different list here.
I feel like that was more soon. I could be wrong, but no, January 17th, 2023.
Oh, okay. So my mistake. Yeah, no, we have some other names here too. That list, whatever that website,
Yeah, Jay
it sucked.
Briscoe and Bray Wyatt were the hardest ones for me, man.
Yeah, I guess that is how we started this year, huh? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, crazy. So we also had Absolute Andy, Adnan Al Kasai. Don't know if I said that right. Adrian Street, Bart Sawyer, Billy Two Rivers, Black Warrior, Bob Barker, technically, I guess,
Oh
is
man,
listed as a, because he was on Raw a couple
he's
times.
in the Hall of Fame, isn't
Yeah,
he?
I
Yeah.
guess. Brett Sawyer, Butch Miller, Charlie Norris, Dan Excellent, Mitch Draws, Emily Dupree, Eric Froelich. Some of these guys, some older guys, obviously. Toro Bill, Russ Francis, Pierre LaFleur, Peggy Lee Leather, Paul Rubens is also listed on here, I guess, for his appearances.
He was a big Raw guy. He was on Raw a couple times.
Right. I
He liked wrestling.
I figured so.
Hey, you know what? Let's just say right now, rest in peace, Pee Wee Herman. Right now, good job, man. Let's just say that.
Hey, and things ended up being all right for him, even after the embarrassing stuff. Osama Kadu, Mike Halleck, aka Mantar,
Oh,
a female wrestler named Miami, Lonnie Poffo. Yeah, that's right. Lonnie Poffo did pass this year. Man.
yep, they're all gone now.
Joyce Grable, Jerry Springer, Jeff Gaylord, and of course Jay Briscoe and Jason Silver. Quite a
Rest in
list.
peace. Pour one out
Definitely
for our boys.
a lot of significant names there. Like just to go back and because I don't want to browse over it. Yeah, obviously Jay Briscoe, and then the Bray Wyatt thing are the most untimely things.
Yeah.
And at least I guess kind of the silver lining would be for those, at least their deaths, at least from what we know, were not like things in vain. Obviously a lot of wrestler deaths that are young are usually tied to like bad stuff,
Yeah.
but
No, Bray was sick
right,
for a
nothing he
while.
could do about it.
No, and Jay died in a car accident.
Right.
Yeah.
Two things
So
that were completely not of their doing, which makes it even more tragic. So,
yes.
Sheik and Terry Funk, definitely going to miss them.
It's good to
Superstar.
see that 80 is an age that we're seeing death at for wrestlers. I know it's bad to say, but 80 is an all right age for a wrestler to die. You know what I mean?
I mean,
I mean, especially some of those guys. Sheik, Superstar Billy Graham, those guys, they lasted in the business for a long time. They wrestled to older ages. So
Yeah,
it's good that they made it to 80 because a lot of wrestlers die young.
exactly. Yeah, no, definitely a decently ripe old age, you know.
Yeah, I'd say.
I think that's the whole thing. You know, what is age really? It all kind of boils down to quality of life at some point. You know, it was like, so yeah, I imagine 80 is probably your eclipse on the quality of life. So at least for
Right.
most people.
Flair's still wrestling at 80, so
Well, that's
it
a whole
was.
nother thing. So you go ahead and start us off, Vito. Let's save the big ones, like the main ones, you know, like the wrestler of the year tag team match. Let's try to work up to those. Try to go from like the bottom of your list up. I have 8. I'm not sure how many you
Uh,
have total.
just a quick correction, to just to clear things up. Ric Flair is only 74, but it stands true that.
It's getting close still.
Um, I the one that I really wanted to talk about because you had listed a lot of them, um, was a promo of the year.
Here we
Because
go. Perfect place to start.
I just went through them waiting for you to start this up, and honestly, I went through some websites and looked them up and stuff. So I found some really good ones. So
Lay it
we'll
on
start
us.
with back in March 3rd of 2023. It's Cody and the Bloodline on SmackDown, and it's the one where Roman lays the titles on the ground. He goes, you ever win one of those? You ever wrestled for one of those? You ever you ever been on the main event of WrestleMania?" And then he's just like, they're going back and forth, and Roman says, "I was groomed for this by my father and your father," you know.
All
And
right.
then Cody does some back and forth stuff. I think that's one of the best promos of the year right there. Um, do you recall that one? It was on
Not
SmackDown.
not right off the top of my head, but I'm sure. So
It
this
was a
must have been.
goodie.
It was pre WrestleMania then.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
I think it was the almost the go home show or the one before that. It was right before WrestleMania.
makes sense. Makes sense. It's a fire promo to go home on. You know,
Um, the other one I got here, we're gonna jump over to the other company, is Chris Jericho and Will Ospreay for their contract signing for All In at Wembley.
I did
It
not
was
catch this.
so good. It was on Dynamite. It was the August 23rd Dynamite, and basically Ospreay just he gets the microphone. First Don Callis goes, and then Ospreay gets the microphone. He just goes off about how important Wembley is, and then he tells Jericho, "Oh, you're only doing this so your band can play at Wembley." You know, he's like, he goes, "I'm doing this for my wife and for my stepson, and this is the beginning of my career." And da 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 da. And it's blah blah blah, bruv, blah blah blah, bruv. But he's getting, veins are popping out of his neck, and he's, just throwing all this stuff out. Um, basically uh, just laying it in about how this is his career, and Jericho, he feels like Jericho's not taking it seriously. Then Jericho comes back with the whole how he called Osprey at the beginning of his career and told him to slow it down or he'll be in a wheelchair and all that stuff. And then he's like, our match was supposed to happen a long time ago. COVID, this and da da da. It's just really emotional.
Hmm.
And at the end of it, Jericho drops him, and then it's a huge. It looks almost like the Mike Tyson Austin thing. You know what I mean? the huge pile up, those security and everything in the ring. Great promo. Um, all of these are on YouTube, by the way. You can go check them all out. See, talking about Bray Wyatt, the number 3 on my list here is LA Knight uh, at the Bray Wyatt tribute show. He is his touching tribute to Bray Wyatt because I think he was the last guy to wrestle Bray Wyatt. Is that right?
Must have been,
Yeah.
yeah, that
I
Royal
feel like,
Rumble match, the pitch black
yeah,
match.
I feel like that was his last match. And then at the end of it, of course, he had that thing going with the Miz, LA Knight did at the time that Bray died. So at the end of it, he goes, "Oh yeah, Miz, I got a little thing for you too. A wise man once told me that if you something something, then you got me coming for you or something. And my only advice to you is run." And he did it. He sounded just like Bray, and it was kind of cool. So
Oh wow.
soft spot for Bray Wyatt there. Um, but honestly, if I'm gonna kind of choose a winner out of those three and this one right here that I'm thinking of, I just watched this for the first time today, and I strongly suggest you look it up. I don't know if it's on YouTube. I'm looking it up on Reddit right now. It's Will Ospreay's answer to Kenny Omega at the what is this? Uh, Wrestle Kingdom 17 press conference. Dude, he is like Will Ospreay knows how to do a promo that shows him being emotional. Like he's got, I don't know, his face can turn like red and he can show so much emotion and just, I don't know, I think it's the word bruv. I think bruv is what pushes his promos through. But he tells Kenny Omega, like, don't belittle me, and talks about how many times he had to test for COVID and how many times he had to quarantine and everything that he did for New Japan that Kenny Omega didn't do. And yeah, I strongly suggest you check that out. It's Wrestle Kingdom 17 press conference. Really good. So those are my top four. And the wild card there is anything MJF and Adam Cole did. So
Well,
what do you think?
well, it's interesting. Okay, so out of the four that you named, you had two Will Ospreay promos
Yes.
there. So
Yeah.
yeah, I guess if you were to crown like a promo guy of the year, would it be him?
I Well, honestly, I didn't look up any of MJF's 2023 promos, but Will Ospreay does, man, he can make a promo. So I'd have to say Ospreay with the honorable mention of an MJF that I didn't look up, but I'm I'm fascinated every time he picks up a microphone. So
There were some really good ones.
yeah,
And that's kind of the thing that stands out to me is just like overall, um, you know, as far as just like without naming anything specific, my favorite promo guy altogether would be him,
yeah,
MJF.
yeah,
Um, Here's the thing, like I love the fact that they just kind of let them talk in AEW. But a lot of the time, it does. You know what I mean? Not everyone can do that, like on the level that he can.
uh-huh.
And because he's doing it like week in and week out, and essentially doing it on his own, this ain't like a creative team coming up with like his bullet points or nothing. This it's
Yeah.
like essentially as far as
You
I
know,
know,
the
yeah.
good thing about AEW is there are script writers back there who can and will write for the people who can't do promos.
See,
I've
there you
seen
go.
it on like backstage shows where they're like, "Oh, hey, can you help me do this? Da da da. And like, oh, someone did this for me. And they helped me. Da 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 da. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, yeah.
that's good. Yeah,
Whatever they got to do, right? I mean, that's
yeah,
kind of what it comes down to at the end of the day. And so that's why, if I was to give, there's some good promo on the WWE side, don't get me wrong, but a lot of that is so mapped out and not like off the cuff that you really can't, you know what I mean? It's at least a 50-50 effort, I'd say, as to what they're going to say out there, at least to most of the people.
well, if
Uh,
I had to choose a promo guy in WWE, it'd be Cody. I think Cody's a great promo.
yeah, no, I mean, I like Cody's promos, but at this point, I'm kind of at the thing where, like, you know, it's kind of becoming like one of those adage things. He needs to kind of change them up a little bit, the gimmick,
Yeah.
the what do you want to talk about gimmick.
What
Uh,
are you talking about?
or, you
We want to
know,
talk about wrestling.
but beyond that, I mean, it's not like they're all the same. I mean, they're
Yeah.
usually, they have different levels of goodness to them, and yeah, and I don't know. But as far as just like, I don't know, straight skill, he's who has my vote. Um, the next category I want to roll into, Vito, we discussed this. I think you also have one, hopefully, or a couple. We talk about champion of the year.
Yes.
This, of course, to me embodies like, not just who had like the best or longest reign, but who um, did it the best, did it at the best level, at like the highest level on the most consistent basis. And to me, and we kind of discussed this prior, there's two guys that stand out, right? There's one in each company. Well, I mean, there's a few guys that stand out, but the two that stand out to me were Orange Cassidy and Gunther.
Yep.
Of course, Gunther's reign was longer and, wasn't broken up at all. Cassidy did have that temporary drop to Moxley for a bit or whatever, right? Um, but I would say
Well,
day in, day out, I'm going to give the nod to Cassidy.
yeah. I like his reign because he had lost it, and then the story of him trying to get it back because it went from Mox to Phoenix, right?
Right,
Didn't it? Yeah. And
right.
then Orange ended up getting it back. So like the story there also not just the champion, but the story of the champion also adds to Orange Cassidy being, I think, the best champion.
Which I think was kind of by accident, right? Because like
Yeah,
that weird stuff happened in that match or whatever, and just Moxley
yeah,
didn't kick out or whatever. So it's like, oh well, Phoenix is a champion, and so instead
yeah.
of like,
Almost like an accidental story that worked out in the end.
and then I think Tony after that happened, and he was like, well, we got to get the title off of Phoenix. Who am I going to go to? Or, am I going to give it back to Moxley? And then I think he thought, well, maybe taking it off of Orange was a mistake. Maybe we should just put it
Yeah.
back on him.
And I want to throw an honorable mention in the MJF because he wrestled for what was it, like 2 months defending his title and he didn't even have a title.
Right.
So honorable mention to the guy who was a champion, defended his title like 2 or 3 times, and didn't even have the strap to give away if he did lose it. So honorable mention MJF.
Yeah, he's in the conversation, but to me, uh, I mean, really just like what, a handful of matches really throughout
Yeah,
the year.
yeah,
Um, it's kind of the same thing as like Roman. It's like
Hey,
I think he worked more than Roman did, but
everybody works more
uh,
than Roman does.
so what's your next? Okay, so who do you have? You gave it to Cassidy too, right?
Yeah,
Just make sure we're
yeah.
on the same page. Okay, so roll into your next cat.
Well, which categories do you have? Did you go with my idea of tag teams slash trios? Did you put that up?
Well, I've got a tag team of the year. Uh,
Oh, okay.
I don't have a trio.
Well,
Um,
I was gonna make that a combo. Um,
I mean, you
let's see.
technically could for who I have there, but the next one I have is the biggest company loss that we had discussed. Do you have
Okay.
that one?
I think most ones we have are the same
They
because
could be.
so
They could be. They
because we
couldn't
kind of
be.
came up with the things together. So,
Well, in a couple of
all
the
right.
categories, yes, because
Yeah.
you named some stuff, and I was like, well, yeah, that sounds good to
Okay.
me, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So let's just go with your list, and I'll add something if I think of something here.
Okay. Well, the next
Because
thing,
the company loss thing is definitely something I thought of that I want to talk about for sure.
so as far as the biggest company loss, I had two different thoughts, kind of. Um, I had two different thoughts, just to put it simply, and then I'll
Okay.
just kind of turn it over to you from there. Um, of course, I mean the most recent one, this thing that you could say more than likely had the most immediate impact, I would say, of course, would be uh, Phil Brooks departing
Yeah.
AEW.
Okay.
But on a cellular level, though, and I'm thinking more long term, um, I'm going to say Bray Wyatt, uh, you know, and
Wow.
kind of throwing a curveball there, because it's like, because this guy, not just a loss for a company, a loss for any company, right? So if you want to take that, give that kind of spin on it,
Yeah.
at
Yeah. That's
only at only 36, he had so much more to do. The next 15 years at least.
yeah.
Uh,
And not only to wrestle, but for a mind, um, a wrestling mind.
Absolutely,
He was a body and a mind.
yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely that's an interesting pick for a loss.
Who do you have?
Um, AEW losing Jade Cargill. Um, she's green still, but she's definitely a future world champion
The
in
upside.
in
You just think about the upside, right? I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah, they got Phil Brooks, but how many years does he have left? Jade has a ton of years left, especially since there's a quote coming from somewhere. I think it came from Triple H. That's someone asked him, "Hey, when you gonna put Jade on TV?" He said, "When she's actually trained, because wherever she was trained before, she didn't get trained with the shit." And it's like, well, she trained at Cody's school, so
right. Yeah. So what does
uh,
that tell you? I don't
I
know.
think
That's
she
weird.
trained with Cody and with Booker T, I think was the other school she trained at. So that sucks. He's got some employees he needs to talk to. So yeah, because both those guys work for him. So anyway, um,
What if they what if AEW just like leaked her out to the WWE, to just like teach her how to wrestle, and then like she just comes back immediately. She's
oh
like, yeah,
man,
well, now that I've like learned some stuff, I'm back. I don't know.
um, and then there's some other people that I believe my notes are on my phone, but I remembered there's someone that I know is going to be a loss if it continues, and that is Dolph. Dolph Ziggler, I think, is a loss, and Um, so that's a big one. I don't know how many years he's got left, but I think he's got at least a couple for sure. Um, let's see.
Yeah,
Uh,
it is a bit,
Another one
I
that,
wouldn't be
well, most,
surprised to see him back in a few years.
yeah, most of the
Um,
losses are coming from WWE because of that big purge they did. Elias,
mhm.
super entertaining, good worker. Ali, I mean, super entertaining, great wrestling mind. Not not tapped, you know. Um, man, I had other people on there too, but yeah,
There was some
there was
guys.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
no, for sure.
there's there was some ladies too, but um, yeah. So
A few ladies, a few gents.
yep.
Uh, I don't know. Bouncing back to my end of things, just another. Yeah, I don't know. Like, have you heard about any of these like rumors about Raw going to TNT and TBS possibly? Have you read any of this?
No, I
Oh
did
my gosh.
hear a rumor that AEW is in danger of losing TNT and TBS, which is
Well,
weird because they just got it.
I'm just going to go on record and say that I don't buy this. But that's the
Yeah.
thing kind of going around is that, oh, well, the reason why they haven't announced because, okay, whoever, okay, so maybe I'll take this back. Maybe there is some truth to this. I don't know if this is the point that's been mentioned by anybody, but a guy in WWE said that on like one of the conference calls or whatever, one of the executive people, I don't know if it was Nick Khan or whoever, he said that the deal is done, but they're just waiting to announce it, and says that they could. Well, no, not. But he didn't name with who, right?
Oh,
But
okay.
but a deal is done with someone, okay, but they haven't announced it yet, which I find
Hmm.
strange. Okay, because like, why would we be waiting all this time? So that to me says maybe there's a smoking gun to these rumors that I'm seeing come across now, saying that Raw potentially its new home would be on one of the Warner networks, and basically AEW, and this is the part that I don't believe. It says that basically AEW would get kicked to Discovery, but I I don't see that
All three
happening.
shows.
See, I I don't buy that part of it because to me it's like, don't isn't their deal coming up as well? How long is their deal with Warner Brothers Discovery right now? Um, Maybe it is because I guess if it's not up at the same time as Raw would be switching, then they would have to do something like that.
I don't know. Let's see if I can find it here.
Yeah, see if we can find. I don't think.
December 31st, 2024.
Okay, so the end of next year, and Raw, their contract with USA that's current right now is going to be up like in the fall or whatever, like September.
October.
Right, yeah, October. Um, so there's a 2 month. If they were to do that, they literally would just have to like suffice AEW somehow for 2 months, and maybe they could just push them to another network. I don't know how their thing's set up, but I mean, this could be a possibility. And to me, like, I haven't really read much into it, but that would make me kind of believe it. Is that because they haven't announced this deal yet? Why else would they be waiting to announce it? You know what I mean? unless there's some kind of legal crap that they're sorting out between the three parties. That's my take.
Wow.
Right? Wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah, it would be crazy.
Dude, you talk about like, bro, I want both companies to survive and thrive, you know? Like ultimately that's what I want. But man, if this happens, this seems like a huge that would be a huge setback for just the brand identity of AEW in general, you know?
Yeah,
So I don't know.
that's crazy. I don't. That blows my mind, dude.
Right.
Uh, I also was seeing something that um like AEW is in the red or something. That was like a YouTube page that I had saw. I
Well,
didn't click on it because I don't pay attention to negative AEW stuff. You know me.
I've seen both things. I've seen, you know, I don't know. I just see the headlines. I don't click into stuff. So
Yeah,
at least for the most part, but I see one thing that says that they're losing 40 million. I see another thing that says that they uh gained 100 million. So like, you know, I don't know. Someone let us know down in the comments if you're more educated than we are. We're the ones with the podcast here.
yeah. Let us know.
But the next one I got, Vito, is an interesting one. Uh, Wrestler to watch in 2024.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Um, so who I went with, and I did quite a bit of thinking on this one, because I mean, there's a lot of guys, but to me, someone that's in position, actually legitimately in position to do like big things next year, I say would be Swerve Strickland.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
I'd say so.
he's pretty much, he looks kind of like the guy that they're going to be pushing, you know, on the AEW side of things, and you know,
Yeah,
just kind of watching these tournament matches with him the last few weeks. That's the impression I'm getting.
yeah. Except for he just lost
Right.
one, which was a great match.
I was very like on like, are they really gonna you know, is Moxley really gonna put him over, you know? And they made it, you know, and it was fine, you know, the way that they did it, you know what I mean, which was basically like Mox gets the win, but it wasn't like a convincing win necessarily, you know.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But yes, big things. I think if
Let's see.
you know, I don't know about a title reign. I mean, I think it's possible, but I think we'll see him have several high-profile matches for AEW next year.
All right. Um,
Who you going with?
man, I'm trying to think of someone over in the Fed. Um, ooh, let's
Well,
see. To watch next.
there is that
Yeah.
guy with the briefcase. I mean,
Ooh, hey. Yeah. But you know what? I'm gonna say Jay Uso.
oh, okay,
I'm gonna say Jay Uso could do some exciting things next year.
all right.
Yeah.
They could be doing some stuff with him, sure.
Yeah.
I
I
don't see
think
why
Jay
not.
Uso. Yeah. I did come up with a category when we're done with this, though.
Yeah, should it ultimately be one of the Usos that ends it all? I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a thought I used to have. Now I'm not so sure, you know. Anyway, go
Yeah.
ahead. I'm sorry I didn't catch that. What was
Oh, I just saying I had a category when we're done with this. I
Go
come up
for
with
it.
a category.
Go for it. So
Oh, we're right.
we differed right there. Are we already different or do you have
Uh,
someone?
I guess those are the 2/3 guys. So we're gonna go with Jey Uso, Swerve
You
Strickland, and
got
then the Money in the Bank guy with Damian Priest.
Okay,
So
sounds
we're gonna
good.
go with those three guys.
And let's move on. You say
Okay,
you got a cat.
yeah. So I'm gonna go with faction, the best faction and stuff they've done. What do you think about that category?
The faction of the year.
Yeah, because
All
this
right.
last year's been big on factions, I've noticed.
I don't have a faction, but I'll make up one based off of the one you're going to throw out.
All right, I'm gonna throw out one or two for each company. All right, and let's start. I'll start with the Fed because there's one that is always on TV, top of the line, and they've gotten better and better every day, and that's Judgment Day.
For
I
sure.
mean, you can't be. There's no better faction than Judgment Day last year or this year, whatever it is. Um, I mean, they've blown up this year. And over on the AEW, it's a it's a tie for me, kinda. It's Blackpool Combat Club or the Don Callis family. So those are the three that I've come up with for last year for 2023.
I can't really say much about the guys on the AEW side of things. Because there was a big part of the year that I missed with
Yeah,
them. Uh, but I will say yes, I do agree with Judgment Day. Um, of course, when we're looking at things on a whole, Bloodline, uh, kind of an off year. Nothing's
yeah.
nothing's really happened besides like, well, I mean, they did have the post WrestleMania split, and so yeah, but it's like as a group now, it's just three guys, and
Roman barely there all year.
right,
So
it's been kind of like drug out and all this stuff. Hold on, all right, back in. So yeah, Judgment Day, A plus. The AEW factions, I don't know. To me, man, I think they've just kind of fallen off. We used to have great factions with AEW.
yeah,
I don't want to pick apart those factions, but I mean, Don Callis family, what? That's like Takeshita. I don't even know who else is in it.
Konosuke
BCC's all right.
Takeshita, Powerhouse Hobbs, Will Ospreay,
Hobbs
and
is in
when
it now, yeah.
Sammy Guevara comes back
Osprey.
from having his kid, he'll be back in it too. Um, but there's one more I'd like to say, and that's it's like an honorable mention, I guess, is House of Black because they spent the beginning of 2023 as the trios champions, and at the towards the end of 2023, Julia Hart won the TBS championship. So they spent the year being champions part of the time. So just throw them out there.
I heard that she won that belt. Is she like, I mean, I have not seen her work yet. Is she like good now or
Yeah,
like
I'm
what?
a fan. I'm a fan. Her
Okay.
promos are good. Her ring work is good. She's got an interesting move set. Um, her look is great. So yeah, Julia Hart's good, man. She's got a bright future.
All right, Vito, debut of the year.
Ooh, all right. Uh, who do you got on your list?
Well, bro, I mean, I know it technically doesn't count because it's not a debut. It's more of a re-debut. But I mean, come on, man. CM Punk coming back at Survivor Series. You can't beat that. That was like, you know, that that sent me back to
I feel
12 years old, Shawn Michaels winning the belt at WrestleMania 12. It sent me
I
back.
feel I can beat that.
Well, go
Adam
ahead.
Copeland. Adam
Ah,
Copeland's debut at in AEW. I don't remember what show that was at.
And I don't know.
I
I
enjoyed
don't
that.
think they. I don't think they. I mean, no disrespect to Adam Copeland, but
You know, I was not going to choose Punk because I don't care. I I didn't want him to go anywhere. I'd rather not see him. Everything Seth Rollins said to him this last Monday was it's
you
pretty
know,
much the same shit Hangman Adam Page said to him
right,
in AEW.
right. That was
Just
interesting,
copy and
huh?
paste the same promo.
That was pretty much right. But you know what the difference was though?
Uh,
This time, Phil was actually like prepared for it, and
yeah,
it was apparently his idea for him to do that, is what I heard from Uncle Dave.
great.
So yeah, there you go. Isn't it crazy, dude? But it all makes sense.
Because
It all
because
makes
you gotta
sense now.
take care of Phil.
It all makes sense now. You know, I literally think after the press conference, he was just fucking done. And he came back and just literally did like uh that episode of Seinfeld where George Costanza tries to get fired from the Yankees and like he
Yeah,
can't get fired like no matter what
yeah,
he does. Like that was basically what he did like the last few months, but then he ended up getting fired, but
yeah.
just didn't care anymore. I think at that moment he wanted to go back. I mean, and all signs point to that. Him trying to get into the Royal Rumble last year, so on and so forth. Him visiting everyone at the show, that whole secret meeting with Triple H
Yeah.
back in,
Yeah, the pictures of him in the parking lot of the Performance Center.
right.
Yeah.
That whole thing, it all makes sense now. It all, there's a smoking gun somewhere. But,
Yeah.
so yeah, no, what, tit for tat, we got Punk, we got Adam Copeland. Vito, what about match of the year?
Ooh.
This is hard,
Um,
man. I have a couple written down, and I'm just going to kind of pivot based off of what you say. So you really need to go first on this one.
um, man, it's such a long year.
So many matches, so many good ones,
Let me
right?
look here. Let me look at my list here. I mean, you gotta go back to, I mean, January was a long time ago. You know what I mean? Uh,
That was
so
weeks ago, mother.
I, um, man, so wasn't the wasn't the trios title still this year? Um,
The best of seven.
yeah, wasn't that this year?
That was, yeah, the match 6 and 7 would have been after the new
Yeah,
year, I think. Yeah.
yeah. See,
There you go. That's a good one.
match 7 was amazing.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
that took some digging there. Yeah, for sure.
yeah. So, I don't know. I don't even like trios matches, but that match was top notch for me. All those matches were great for me because of the way they wrote them out. You know, the hammer was used in different ones, and anyways, but that match 7, game 7 was a great match for me. You got one?
Well, I mean, didn't we have I mean, there was two, and I really couldn't decide between the two, but it's okay because one is a male match, one's a female match. But I guess you got to go with um what? I mean, Osprey Omega at Forbidden Door 2, right? Didn't they do that?
Uh,
Wasn't that this year?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well,
Um,
that would be one. And then on the female side, I mean, Rhea and Charlotte, at Mania this year, I think was like head and shoulders, probably the best match of the weekend. Looking back on it, to be honest.
Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr.
Right, that ended up, yeah, okay. So that was I remember that. I was trying to remember what, because I remember there was that match, the Osprey match, and then I remember there was another one that was like, well, there was 2 or 3 on that card that you could argue were the best on that card.
Because that match had me on my heels the whole entire thing. And then it was like who's better as a wrestler, and then it just kept going on and on and on with submissions, and all of a sudden it was like Danielson's like screw it, and then hit the big knee, and it was over.
Who
That
did
was a great match.
who did Okada work with? Didn't Okada have a match with that with somebody?
I don't know. I'm not even sure what pay-per-view that was. I don't remember.
No, it was Okada Danielson, I think, in another pay-per-view, right? Wasn't that
Yeah,
the...
they were at
Okay. No, it was
Forbidden
Okada.
Door?
No, that was Okada Danielson at Forbidden Door, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the same night as Osprey Omega, right? Or was Osprey Omega at Wembley?
You
No, it
can't
wasn't at
make
Wembley.
me figure out dates. I don't remember that. I just remember matches.
Right.
Um,
It all,
but
yeah, there's...
I got one for the Fed.
okay.
Great match. Usos versus Roman and Solo. Not a big tag team match guy. I don't like multiple men in a match, but probably one of the greatest tag team matches I've seen recently.
That was the pay-per-view after Mania, right? Or the PLE after Mania?
That was, I have it written down right here, Money in the Bank.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
That was great. Not necessarily in action, but just in story and emotion and just everything going on.
In
Great match.
the middle of that split.
Yep. And Jay pins Roman.
All right, Vito, who do we got? Tag team of the year. Lay it on me. Tag team or trio or both?
Tag team of the year. Now, I'm going to swerve you.
All right.
All right.
Swerve when I drive. Swerve when I... Oh, sorry.
I'm
my mic's still
say
on. My mic's good. All right.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Swerved. You just got Strickland.
All right. Yeah, no, headline in WrestleMania. I see it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, they got to have their friendship. They got to win the titles at WrestleMania. They yeah, it was just a great moment for them. Great childhood moment, great friend moment, great business moment. It was, I mean, I really liked I mean, they split up, but they split up because of show switch. They didn't
Right.
split up because of, attacked each other or one healed out or something.
Right.
And it wasn't even one got injured. They
They're
just switched shows.
They're just on a break here.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Ross and Rachel.
Right.
They're on a break.
We were on a break.
So, yeah.
Okay. No, yeah, that's one I wasn't expecting at all. So nice job and good call on that. Because I have the Acclaimed, and this kind of bleeds into both things, because they had a great run as tag champs. And then that's bled into this run as trios guys now. I mean, if you're gonna give it to him any year, this is the year. I think uh, they'll be this is the most over that they'll be in this version of
Yep.
themselves right now. Anything from here, unless they add a new dimension to their stuff, this will kind of be the ceiling for right now. So we'll see where they take it from here. But I think it was their year, man. I would have kept the titles on them the whole damn year. All this, you know, like, oh man, don't even get me started on this Big Bill and Ricky Starks team, dude. Like, what are we doing? I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, not a fan. This thing they're doing with the Golden Jets, this last promo, did you watch Dynamite
I
on Wednesday?
did. Yeah, no, that was interesting.
Yeah, it was. Some of the jokes were funny, but it got awkward in a couple parts. But some of the jokes hit me, but it did get awkward. Um, but yeah,
I love Kenny Omega, all right, but talking in front of a live crowd, not his strongest suit. The
no,
only guy whose strong suit that is out there is Chris Jericho, if I'm being
yes,
brutally honest. And so I don't know. I thought that segment was kind of cringe, but
yeah,
I think there's potential in their team. They just gotta showcase them in the right way. Need to not make them look like goobers, basically, which is
yeah,
what I kind of think that interview did. I don't know.
yeah. He called himself the Winnipeg Jets, and he goes, "Oh wait, no, we're the Golden Jets."
Right?
Like, no, that's who you
Like,
got your name from, man.
what are we even doing here, man? Come on.
Yeah, yeah, it was very interesting.
So no, that's cool. That is a cool dynamic between our two picks there. Uh, so unless you have something else, Vito, let's roll into the main event here. Do you have anything else before we go into our main award, the coveted wrestler of the year, named by Superkick Weekly?
Um, Let me think. Uh,
Any other dubious awards we want to give out to anyone, perhaps? Dubious achievements.
are there do we got any non-wrestlers we'd like to recognize? Non-wrestler of the year award?
Yeah, like a manager or valet of the
Yeah,
year, right?
yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to throw some special shout out to Samantha Urban. She needs some flowers thrown her way.
Okay.
Uh, she is the ring announcer for Raw. She is can easily be up there in um, the up there podium with the Fink and Lillian Garcia. She's right up there, man. She's her charisma and the way she announces people's names is amazing.
Top notch.
So yeah, she is top notch. So Samantha Irvin,
Boom. That's a good
yeah,
one.
yeah. Oh,
Uh,
and Prince Nana,
that's a good one
yeah,
too.
yeah,
I was trying to come up with one, and he was like one of the first ones that came on my head. Yeah, came on my head.
yeah. Oh, oh,
Anyway, uh,
goodness.
I don't know what's going on. Uh, so no, yeah, you can make an argument for him. I mean, that whole act is ascending. I think
Yeah,
at the end of the day, though, we I mean, you got to make a case for Heyman. He's just kind of he's just kind of the godfather of that category and that role. Especially for just talking managers, and we're not including ring announcers or anything like that. It's like until Heyman
yeah,
hangs it up, like there's really nobody better.
yeah. The way he
Honestly.
talks into his phone, it's like call call Roman Reigns. It's like that's so weird.
Man,
Yeah, yep.
just every little detail, and he's important to the, just moving the whole thing along.
All
So
right,
shout out to
so
all that. Let's get a drum roll. Wrestler of the year. I have a male and female, by the way.
well, that's good.
Let's start with female first.
Okay.
I think it's hard to not argue that the female wrestler of the year is not Rhea Ripley. What do you got?
Um. Well, I am gonna go. I am gonna go with a little recent. She had a good beginning, and then a little rough. And then she ends out the year perfectly. I'm gonna say, uh, and I'm biased. You know me, I'm biased. So my woman of the year is Tony Storm.
Okay. No, yeah, you can make the argument for sure.
But I am not. I'm not sleeping on Rhea Ripley for sure, though. Rhea Ripley has had an amazing year. Mommy.
I can accept the argument, but yeah, no, I mean, you know, I don't know. There's just so many reasons. The work, the the promos, just the overall presentation.
Yeah.
Um, but don't get me wrong, I do see your point though about Tony Storm. Uh, and like you said, I mean it started out a little rough. I think the whole. I don't think the group with her and Soraya and everyone like actually worked that
Yeah. The
well.
Outcast. Yeah,
It was
that's
just
where
not
I think.
working. Yeah,
That's how I think she got it. It's her as the champion in the beginning of the year, as the Outcast. And then she lost her title,
right.
then left the Outcast, and then from the time she left the Outcast till now is like pitch perfect work, man. Her losing her mind, becoming timeless Tony, all the black and white
Right.
work. That one week, I think it was only 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, where during the picture in picture she did like silent films. I don't know if you saw those weeks, but they were amazing. One
Yeah,
for one
yeah. On
whole
the picture
show.
in picture. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it was her doing a silent film with
yeah.
RJ City. Oh
Right.
man, that was the first time I've ever watched picture in picture. Yeah, so
No, I can't argue with you.
yeah,
I'm a fan of the whole change around of the gimmick and the presentation
yeah,
and the work. I mean, come on. I mean, uh and she is really holding it down for that whole division, at least,
yeah,
at the moment. Um while they work in some
yeah.
other
In the
girls there,
beginning, like her first matches, Timeless Tony, when she tried to give her opponent a script of how they were supposed to do the thing,
Right.
I was like, she just gives them a script. She's like, okay, first you're gonna do this and this, and I'm like, man, the first time her opponent just ripped it up, I was hoping like she would get a different opponent, like one who was a little cooler about it and like would have read it and like, okay, kind of held on to it for a minute. But yeah, timeless Tony Storm, great.
Who do we got for male wrestler of the year, Vito?
Oh man,
You go
that's a
first
tougher
this
one.
time.
That's a tougher one. I almost have to do one for each company almost. Um, because I mean, do you go with the champions? You almost have to go with champions, don't you? Like I said earlier, MJF wrestled um a lot of the year without his title, defended it without the Triple B. He had a great thing with Switchblade. Um, he did. Let's see. I need to see. I always forget. anyway, my pick for AEW would be MJF. And if I had to pick uh, WWE wrestler of the year, uh, man, that's a tough one. Why don't you pick your wrestler of the year? Let me know.
Well, this one I probably debated the most out of everything because there's a lot of different ways you can come at it.
Yeah,
But who I have is Seth Rollins.
I
Um,
was kind of thinking about him.
Also a champion, but I think it's kind of it was really hard for me to decide between Cody and Seth. Um, but Seth uh, has been the champion, so that kind of gives him a little bit of a nod. But the main thing I was thinking about with this is just like who has worked the most shows in the main event of the most shows across the country. And because WWE does house shows, um, or at least more house shows than AEW does. I don't know how many they really do right now, but night in and night out, it's either got to be Seth or Cody. I give the nod to Seth because he is the champion.
Yeah,
So, I mean, night in, night out, I mean, you got to say that the guy deserves it and that it was pretty much his year, beyond Roman Reigns showing up every few weeks. He, you know, pretty much carried his show. I mean, Cody and stuff was there too, but I mean, I don't know. It just when at the end of the day, I think it's Seth. It's close. Cody's close. You got to give the nod to Seth, I think, because he wore the belt.
yeah.
So next year it might be Cody, but this year it's Seth. Who you
All
got?
right. I was kind of between those two as well. I mean, I think wasn't Hell in a Cell this year, or was that last year?
The
Cody and Seth Hell in a Cell, that was
that
last year,
that
right?
was last year.
Yeah. But Seth, I've always liked Seth. Um, so I'm gonna say Seth as well.
And I also
Um,
want to mention I don't want to neglect that I also was kicking around the idea of Max. You can make an argument for him too, as far as the AEW side of things.
yeah,
If I were to name an AEW wrestler of the year, I mean it would probably be him. If we were doing like a separate thing, but just once again, like just the amount, the volume of work is what makes me give the WWE guys a nod. But I wouldn't crucify anyone, you know, putting an AEW guy out there because you could say that overall the quality of work is equal to what I mean, what they would do night in and night out at a house show or what have you. But
yeah.
um, but
So
yeah,
the reason why I say MJF, let me just finish looking at this real quick, is he has defended either his world title or their tag team title at every single pay-per-view this year. Um, and his opponents have been not schmucks.
right.
Danielson, Tanahashi, he wrestled Tanahashi this year, I believe. Adam Cole, um, and then they wrestled, they just defended their tag team titles. So that's why I say MJF. He's had a great year. Anyway,
No, that's great. I
yeah,
would I would totally support that argument 100%. I would not say that you're wrong. You could definitely make a case for him. It just really depends on what criteria you're weighing. If you're weighing the overall, I might pick MJF too. You know, if we're going off of like who I like specifically, I mean, I would pick MJF because he's probably my favorite guy out there overall right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Um,
then he also won the Four Corners match or the Four Pillars match.
right, yeah.
But I'm
And that was
seeing,
way better than I thought it was going to be. I remember that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did he not wrestle at Wrestle Dream? I'm looking. Oh no, he defeated the Righteous. That's right, in a handicap match. That's right.
Right, but then he had to come back and wrestle someone at the end of the night, didn't he?
I'm not seeing his name twice on this
I
one.
I thought that was the
I
gimmick.
thought he did too.
He had to wrestle
But
them, and then he had to wrestle Joe at the end, didn't he? Wasn't that
no, no, he hasn't wrestled Joe yet. I'm looking at the
they
things
did
here.
wrestle once, but I don't think it was a pay-per-view.
He when he wrestled Joe, he didn't have the title. I don't think.
No, he had the title because it was last year. He had the title the whole year.
Let's see.
At some point, he did wrestle Joe. That's the whole point of the storyline is Joe's getting one more chance and he's like trying to like earn it from him. I want to say didn't they wrestle, wasn't that All In? Wasn't that Wembley?
No, he wrestled Adam Cole
Oh
at
no, that was
Wembley.
the best friend. Yeah, that's right. So I think the match with Joe was on a dynamite or something. That's what I want to say. I remember it was pretty damn good. Either that or I'm just having a total Mandela effect moment, but I swear to God, I've seen an MJF Samoa Joe match this year already.
I don't know. I don't
That's
know. I
weird,
can't
bro.
seem to
That's
find it.
weird. You can't find it.
We'll figure it out.
We'll get back to you on that. Someone let us know in the comments, damn it.
Um, the other thing is right now, I believe right now is the ROH pay-per-view. Um, it's happening currently. Just started 7 minutes ago, I
As
believe.
we speak, final battle, huh?
Is that what it is? Final battle?
That's what it should
Yes,
be if
it's
it's a
happening.
December. It's the December show.
It is happening. So
Well,
that's the thing. It's happening.
I'll have to claim it on waivers tomorrow. But
Yeah.
I think that about does her. That's our end of the year awards, people. 2023. Let's give them all a hand. It was a hell of a year in
Yes.
wrestling. It's the first time we've ever done this on the show, and we'll look forward to doing it again next year.
Yes. I'm pretty excited. I'm glad we did it.
If there are any categories that you'd like us to add next year, also let us know that down in the comments or send us a message on Twitter or something. I check that Twitter every now and then, I think. No, wait, we don't have a Twitter. That's the Pro Wrestling Planet Twitter. Never mind.
Never mind.
Never mind. One of these days we'll get it together with the social media, but we appreciate you finding us however you found us.
Yeah.
And
We appreciate all of you.
and we'll get back to you. I don't know.
Yeah.
We might see you once again before the new year. We may not. It just kind of all depends on how
Let us
things
know
shake
about the
out.
invasion thing because
Yes,
let us know.
that'll really help us decide on how we drive this ship moving forward. I don't know, Vito. I find a lot more enjoyment out of more. You know what I mean? I like going back and watching stuff, but I think it's easier for us to talk about current things
Yeah.
because then we can like actually speculate on like what we think is going on
The only thing I really like about doing the old stuff is where are they now type thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But other than that, so
There's
I'm
only
totally
so,
cool with skipping ahead to the
yeah.
pay-per-view. So
Okay. That
let
I
the
think
fans
that
tell us.
I think that might be the plan. So
I
option
think
A would be skip to Invasion. Option B is no, dude. You got to watch every Raw and SmackDown of the Invasion angle era.
oh, sorry. I just pictured
which may
myself
be
doing all that.
torturous. So we'll let you know. Vito, anything else you want to give us or tell the listeners before we head out?
Uh, no, man. I'm just glad people are listening and or watching.
Exactly. Thank you all for joining us. Make sure you
And
leave
happy
us a good,
holidays, actually.
happy Merry Holidays. Leave us a review, comment, like the video, do whatever you're going to do wherever you're joining us at. Thank you for being here. Please bookmark us. Bookmark us. What is this, 1996?
Yeah.
Dating myself here.
Hit the star. I mean the bell.
Until next time, this is Super Kick Weekly. Vito, give me some. We are out of here.
Ho 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 ho.